What's up, YouTube? It's the one and only Division 18, and welcome back to another video. The first round of the NFL draft just happened, or it happened last night by the time of me posting this video, but it's finally here. As always, there has been some predictable and unpredictable picks, as well as some teams believing that they drafted their future, as well as some questionable picks. It's been honestly just a typical NFL draft. There is not really much else to say about it. There were a bunch of interesting moves, so I'm just here to talk to you guys and tell you guys my thoughts on round one. This is my first video in a while that I have done unscripted. I do have my notes. It's just my pure thoughts about the draft, so bear with me. Make sure to leave you guys' comments on the video on you guys' thoughts of the first round, like who's you guys' favorite team, who did you guys draft, did you like it, did you not like it, and what was just you guys' biggest surprises of the NFL draft. What are you guys most excited for? You know, just typical things to comment. But with all of that introduction out of the way, let's get into it. Quarterbacks. Who else was surprised that Baker Mayfield was drafted number 1 overall? I mean, I was getting the notifications all day saying that the Cleveland Browns might go in that direction. But I mean, still, I honestly would have expected 2 non-quarterback draft picks before this. But I mean, here we are. My first thoughts tell me that number 1, Baker Mayfield most likely will not start this season. He'll get some playing time, no doubt, with some sub packages, because that leads me to number 2. Head coach Hugh Jackson is dedicated to his system, and this season is the season to see what that's all about. I do like Baker Mayfield, and a lot of people have compared him to Johnny Manziel, but I think that's crazy. He has a much better arm, he has much better decision making, but he is also under 6'1", which is a little bit nerve-wracking. But I am excited to see how Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns and how this season will play out for the both of them. Because of that, the New York Jets, whose favorite quarterback in the draft was Baker Mayfield, selected Sam Darnold, and I think that the Cleveland Browns honestly saved the New York Jets. I think that Sam Darnold is a much better quarterback to solidify a franchise that hasn't really been solid since Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez. The New York Jets do have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, though, but I believe that Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater are really the only quarterbacks of importance at this point. Will Sam Darnold start before the end of the season? I honestly have no idea, but nothing would surprise me because Todd Bowles is most likely on the hottest seats in the NFL as of right now. At the number 7 pick, the Buffalo Bills chose Josh Allen. Some say it's a project. I think it was honestly a solid pick for the Buffalo Bills. A little bit more than Josh Rosen or Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. Josh Allen has a big arm, like a huge arm. And I think that's why analysts honestly have him a little bit as a project, because analysts don't really like quarterbacks. But people do have problems with his inconsistency, which, yes, is a problem. But in Wyoming, he was playing with really no line and really just no offensive weapons in general. He's played in cold weather, which is good for the Buffalo Bills. And I think, honestly, with the right supporting cast, Josh Allen will definitely be a starter by the end of this season over A.J. McCarron. Congrats to the Arizona Cardinals for making a clutch trade up 1 pick before the Miami Dolphins, who a lot of analysts thought that they were looking at Josh Rosen. I didn't really like that for the Miami Dolphins, and I'm happy that that didn't happen. But yet another good fit for these quarterbacks coming out. I mean, Arizona, they needed a quarterback with Sam Bradford entering the season as their starter. No one really wants that, and he's just injury prone. They couldn't miss out on a quarterback in this draft. It was a necessity. And with the only quarterbacks left on the board being Rosen and Jackson left, Rosen was obviously the best choice, I think. So congrats on the Arizona Cardinals for getting their quarterback, maybe of the future. And with the last pick of the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens traded with the Philadelphia Eagles, who didn't really need their pick, and drafted Lamar Jackson to just really fill our hearts, because we all thought that he was going to have to be drafted in the second round on day 2. and that was just going to crush his confidence, I think. Well, he's probably not going to be the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens this season. Expect to see Lamar Jackson in a lot of sub packages, just like Baker Mayfield, to make the Baltimore Ravens a little bit more unpredictable and exciting on offense. With the new additions of Michael Crabtree and John Brown, as well as Alex Collins and now Jackson, with all of that, it's just going to be a lot for the Baltimore Ravens. And with that, 5 quarterbacks actually went in the first round for the first time since 1999. Next up, I'm going to be talking about a team that I like to call address the needs. A quick shout out goes to the New York Giants, the Cleveland Browns with their 4th pick, the Denver Broncos, and the Indianapolis Colts for not succumbing to all of the nonsense and the craziness that was going on in the first couple picks of the NFL draft and sticking to their guts and drafting the best player at the time for their team right now going into this season with Barkley, Ward, Chubb, and Nelson. I know it probably took a lot for the New York Giants not to go with Sam Darnold when they could have, as well as Bradley Chubb for the Cleveland Browns, but I think they both came out with much better picks for the season, which led the Denver Broncos to get a much better pick for their season. So congrats to all of those teams. The San Francisco 49ers drafted offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey to protect the future of the NFL Jimmy Garoppolo, which is just a solid pick that rounded up the top 10, which was just everything that we could ask for. The Washington Redskins decided to go with nose tackle Daron Payne to make their defensive line basically all Alabama players, with the exception of Ryan Kerrigan, and Ryan Kerrigan is great, which just isn't bad at all. I made that sound bad, but that's not bad at all. And I'm just excited to see how Payne, Ryan Anderson, second-year player, and Allen, second-year player, and coming off injury, will play next season all together. The Washington Redskins just made themselves into a very elite defensive line this season. Jair Alexander, who I thought was a close second to Minkah Fitzpatrick with the best cornerback in this NFL draft, went to the Green Bay Packers, who desperately needed defensive playmakers, especially at the secondary position to help out HaHa Clinton-Dix, as well to replace Demarius Randall, who they lost to the Cleveland Browns this offseason. So congrats to the Green Bay Packers on that. The Carolina Panthers took the first wide receiver off the board with DJ Moore. Everybody expected and knew, I expected, the Panthers knew, analysts knew, everyone knew that the Panthers had to go wide receiver, and because they traded away Kelvin Benjamin last season and just really needed to get help for Devin Funchess this season. I know that some people expected Ridley. I honestly think Courtland Sutton is the best in the draft. But looking at it, I think I could be sleeping on DJ Moore. He played with 8 different quarterbacks in his career at the University of Maryland and was still able to play at an elite level. Steve Smith said that the Panthers haven't been able to replace him in his legacy since drafting DJ Moore, and he hasn't even picked out his jersey number yet. So I can't wait to see how his career is going to play out, as well as how excited Cam Newton is excited for DJ Moore. The New England Patriots, with their 2 picks, hit a key need at tackle with Isaiah Wynn, and then Sony Michael at running back out of the University of Georgia, to go alongside with Rex Burkhead, James White, and new addition Jeremy Hill. The New England Patriots, they love to use mixed matches with their running backs. They did it all last season. It was just the story of their offense. And Sony Michael, he does just that. He'll provide mismatches as well as be an every down running back for the New England Patriots alongside with Jeremy Hill. It was a good draft for the New England Patriots. Yet another running back that the Denver Broncos will miss out on. But we still have round 2, so we will see how all that goes. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about some of our surprising picks of the NFL draft. The good, the bad, the surprising. Let's start off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with drafting defensive tackle Vita Vea. Now, this is not a bad pick. Nobody quote me saying that's a bad pick, because this is not a bad pick. The Tampa Bay Bucs last season, they were the worst team in the NFL when it came to sacks, and Vita Vea is an athletic player, and if he's able to keep his weight in check, he can no doubt dominate alongside with JPP, Vinny Curry, Gerald McCoy. It will be a great defensive line. I just honestly expected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go in the direction at the time, because they were still available, of Derwin James or Jair Alexander. But still, it's a good pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Los Angeles Chargers decided to draft the best player at the time of their pick with Derwin James, who I believe dropped a little bit too far, I think dropping all the way to like 17, but adding to an already great secondary. Derwin James is a ready-to-play-now type of safety. Just made the LA Chargers defense that much more scary. They had already rookie last year, Joey Bosa, who played amazing. And now we'll just see how Derwin James will play. I'm very nervous because the Broncos have to play them twice a season. The Baltimore Ravens traded down twice to draft tight end out of South Carolina, Hayden Hurst. And while many were comparing him to Greg Olsen, I was still just a little bit confused at the pick. I thought it was obvious that the Baltimore Ravens had to get an offensive playmaker. We all knew that. I just thought it was going to be Ridley or Sutton because DJ Moore was already gone at the time. And I guess just with the new additions of Crabtree and Brown, the Baltimore Ravens didn't really see a needed wide receiver anymore. And with Watson struggling with his injuries and Max Williams, who they drafted 2 or 3 years ago out of the University of Minnesota, not really turning out to what they thought he would be. So we'll see how this entire thing plays out. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll definitely see how that will play out. The Atlanta Falcons drafted Calvin Ridley, literally a pick after the Baltimore Ravens. And let me tell you, this isn't surprising in the fact that I would just be like, wow, that's unexpected. This is surprising in the fact of like, wow, I can't believe this offense just became stacked with just that. Like, 2 Alabama wide receivers alongside with 2 premier running backs, an MVP quarterback, fantastic role players. I mean, this is just prime time for the Atlanta Falcons, and I think it was a steal from the Baltimore Ravens. It was just a pick after them, and I think if they went Ridley, it would have shocked the Atlanta Falcons offense a little bit, or their draft room. The Seattle Seahawks, with their first round pick since 2013, prevented any teams from coming up on this steal in the second round, or honestly even the end of the first round. Rashad Penny was no doubt the second best running back in my opinion in this draft. Out of San Diego State, if you guys do not know, go check out his tape. You can check out his individual game tapes, his mix tapes, any tapes. You will be impressed. Rashad Penny will surely take off some of the load of Russell Wilson's shoulders, who I'm pretty sure was like in the high 60s of percentage of the offense last season, which is just ridiculous. And I know some people for the Seattle Seahawks, they were saying that they need to look on the defensive side of the ball. And while yes, that made sense, I think running back an offensive line was just a little bit more of a desperate need. And Rashad Penny, I think, brings a lot to the Seattle Seahawks offense, makes them a little bit more two-dimensional, not one-dimensional with just Russell Wilson. And you can still run the option game with Russell Wilson. So it kind of makes them a three-dimensional offense now. So congrats to the Seattle Seahawks on that. It's rough for the Broncos yet again because I was looking for that steal in the second round, but I'm sure so many other teams were also looking for that steal. So just congrats to the Seattle Seahawks on that. So for now, let's go ahead and get into the teams that I haven't talked about, the teams that I've missed. The Chicago Bears, they drafted Raekwon Smith. Fantastic for them, a leader amongst men. Will be great for the Chicago Bears. I'm excited to see how that will turn out. The Miami Dolphins, who was saved from themselves, drafted Minkah Fitzpatrick. Great pick for them. The New Orleans Saints, they got Marcus Davenport. Don't really know a lot about him. Everybody's been telling me a lot about him. So I'll probably go look at some tape. It's the only reason why I'm not talking about him, because they traded up to get this guy, so he has to be good. But I just don't really know a lot about him. So I'm really sorry for the New Orleans Saints fans out there. The Oakland Raiders got Colton Miller. Very good tackle for them. They didn't want to make the same mistake that Indianapolis Colts did with Andrew Luck, just getting him sacked every single season. Now he's injured. You don't really want to do that with Derek Carr, so good for them. The Bills got Tremaine Edmonds out of the University of Virginia Tech. Salute with their second pick. The Dallas Cowboys got Leighton Vander. Same thing with Marcus Davenport. Don't really know a lot about him, so I didn't really talk about him, but sure is a fantastic player. Detroit Lions got Frank Ragnow, the best center in the draft. Great for them. The Cincinnati Bengals probably wanted Frank. Got the second best center in the draft in Billy Price. The Tennessee Titans got Evans out of the University of Alabama. Cannot go wrong with anybody out of the University of Alabama. The Pittsburgh Steelers got Tyrell Edmonds, Tremaine Edmonds' brother, out of the University of Virginia Tech. Salute, safety. the Jacksonville Jaguars got Taven Bryan. My boy's been telling me a lot about him, so we'll see how that will kind of work out. Don't really know a lot about the guy, but from the University of Florida, so he's a Florida boy. But after that, I think I basically touched up on everything from day one. Thank you guys for bearing with me through this long unscripted video. I know we were just kind of all over the place. Look forward for more videos in the future regarding the NFL offseason. Go check out some of my other videos that are scripted. They're edited really good for all of you guys. For all of you guys that are still here, thank you guys for tuning into the video. You guys didn't even have to watch, honestly. If you guys watched, that's fantastic. But if you didn't, you just listened to my thoughts, just thought about it, that's cool. Thank you. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos. Comment down below everything that I said in the intro, like who was your favorite team? Who did you guys draft? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was surprising to you? What's different? What's good? Basically everything in the comments. Tell me your thoughts, because this was a long video. Yeah, make sure to look out in the future, and thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys. Peace.